Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify, Apple, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. This content is brought to you by Uphold, which is a great crypto platform that I've been using since 2017. They have 10 plus million users, 250 plus cryptocurrencies, and they're available in 150 countries. Right now, they're running a great promo that if you spend $600, you can get $50 in Bitcoin for free. If you'd like to learn more, please visit the link in the description. All right, my friends, some very interesting news. So apparently, Apple put a hidden copy of the Bitcoin whitepaper on every new Mac. This is a pretty amazing. It's an interesting Easter egg, right? And the fact that it is Apple, or excuse me, the fact that it is a Bitcoin whitepaper is very interesting. So I don't know if this was planned or someone snuck it in here, but very interesting. I tweeted at Tim Cook, Apple CEO, and at the Apple handle on Twitter asking, hey, this is pretty cool. Was this planned? What's the thing behind this? So one user mistakenly found this by trying to fix his printer on his Mac. So you can try it on your MacBook, guys, and see if it pops up. But very, very interesting. And here there's a full blog on it titled "The Bitcoin White Paper is Hidden in Every Modern Copy of the Mac OS," and it's in the system library / image capture devices, virtual scanner contents resources, and it's titled simpledoc.pdf. Very, very interesting stuff, guys. And, just yesterday we were talking about Bitcoin getting adopted by Ralph Lauren, a store in one of Ralph Lauren's stores in Miami, and how crypto, starting with Bitcoin, is seeping into the mainstream and becoming part of society. And here's a great example, guys. Martin guitars. For my guitar players out there, you know how prestigious Martin is. Martins are very expensive, along with Taylor's, and they make great guitars. Well, guys, they released a Bitcoin themed guitar, an acoustic guitar. It's pretty sweet, actually. Has the Bitcoin logo on the fretboard. If you take a look at it here, let me go through one of the other images, and it has a Bitcoin, it doesn't look like a logo. It looks like an actual coin, a metal coin, embedded within the head, right where the tuning pins are. So really cool. I might get one of these. I'll see if Martin can, they want to donate one to me and I'll play it on the channel for you guys. Cause many of you know, I play guitar. Mostly I play classic rock. And anyway, I play a variety of different genres, but what really got me into playing guitar was classic rock and Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, and so forth. So I like to rock out when I can, even on the acoustic. So really cool, guys. Once again, I don't care if you hate Bitcoin and you don't care for Bitcoin. The fact that Bitcoin and crypto is going into the mainstream and pop culture and into different facets of life, I see that as bullish. I see that as adoption. I see it as we've crossed the chasm here where people can't ignore it anymore, right? It is part of society. Very bullish. And of course, the trend is only getting stronger and larger. And it is here to stay, my friends. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, MicroStrategy continues to buy the dip here, if you want to call it a dip. Personally, I am not buying Bitcoin here. I was buying at below 20K, right? But look, Michael Saylor, this is his strategy. So he tweeted out, MicroStrategy has acquired an additional 1,045 Bitcoin for approximately $29.3 million at an average price of $28,016 per Bitcoin. So as of April 4th, they hold 140,000 Bitcoin. Wow. Acquired for approximately $4.17 billion at an average price of $29,803 per Bitcoin. Pretty amazing stuff, guys. As I said many times, Michael Saylor is the biggest Bitcoin bull. I hope it works out for him. But if it doesn't work out, my God, it's going to be a catastrophe, an epic failure throughout history, guys. But hopefully it works out for him. And I'm not saying Bitcoin and crypto is not here to stay, but rather when you take this level of a bet, it's very risky, right? And he's taking out loans and so forth. So hopefully everything, goes smoothly for him. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, CZ, Binance, and we're going to talk a lot about Binance today. He tweeted out the following, or retweeted what Binance the main account said, which was closing in on 1 million addresses holding more than one Bitcoin. This data is from Glassnode. And CZ said there are more than 56 million millionaires in the world and only 1 million people with more than one Bitcoin due to math. So there's the demand for Bitcoin and crypto will grow, and eventually, because of the scarcity aspect, it's going to drive the price even higher. And we've been seeing that with the Bitcoin halvings in every 4 years, right? With the 4-year cycle. So that's playing out, and the scarcity aspect will increase, especially as Bitcoins get lost and people lose wallet addresses and personal keys, and we know the history of different people losing hard drives. So there's not going to be 21 million in circulation, even though the cap is at 21 million. It's going to be less than that, and there's going to be people who won't sell their Bitcoin and just hold on to it. So it's going to be in high demand as inflation runs rampant, I should say, throughout the world, and different people want to buy Bitcoin and crypto. Now let's move ahead here. Swiss banking giant Post Finance to offer Bitcoin trading and custody to 2.6 million customers. So clear example of global adoption, folks. And let's talk about some additional Binance news. Binance rejected Justin Sun's offer to buy his Huobi stake. Binance has no interest in buying Huobi due to its rumored ties to China, according to a person familiar with the situation. Justin Sun, he's rich, he's got a lot of money, but there's always something shady surrounding this dude. And I don't blame Binance for not wanting to touch Huobi with a 10-foot pole, right? There's been a lot of, weird things happening with Huobi and Justin Sun, and I don't blame them, man, because he hasn't had a great track record. It's always been something shady, and I wouldn't get involved. I'm not saying he's a bad guy or he's a horrible person, right? I think he's at least better than Sam Bankman-Fried, but it's just when I see smoke, I see, there's sometimes fire there, and I don't blame Binance for not wanting to acquire Huobi. Now, some more Binance news. Binance opens Argentina fiat on-ramps as inflation hits 100%. So these exchanges and companies continue to expand globally. Binance has launched its on and off ramp in Argentina, giving locals a way into the digital asset markets. Guys, Central, Latin, and South America, those markets are huge, or LATAM, if you want to call it that. There's a lot of people who are unbanked or underbanked as well, and they're in countries that are facing incredible inflation. And this is true for some countries in Africa as well. So crypto and Bitcoin and these things absolutely make sense for them. So local users can now load their Binance wallets with Argentinian pesos and trade a small selection of cryptocurrencies via the app: Bitcoin, Ether, BNB, and EOS, as well as dollar-pegged stablecoins BUSD and Tether USD. Binance so far only had limited operations in Argentina and doesn't yet offer peso pairs on its exchange. Due to high inflation, prices for goods and services across the country reportedly keep fluctuating almost every week, meaning peso-denominated crypto price quotes are likely to change frequently. Boy, I can't imagine looking at the price charts in pesos for these folks and in other fiat there where there's rapid inflation. It must be insane, but at least there's a solution. They can opt out here, put some of their cash in, or their fiat, I should say, in Bitcoin or crypto, and be able to have that grow in value over time and, avoid insane inflation. Now, here we got some interesting stuff coming out of the EU. Binance crypto firms need to be supervisable, warns ECB board member. ECB supervisory board member warns crypto asset markets could hit a point where they are a threat to global financial stability if international regulation isn't enforced. So they love to use this talking point: a threat to global financial stability, a threat to the American financial system, while banks are collapsing, while the Fed continues to print money, and these big banks, They already crashed the markets many times. Let's just look at 2008, right? And they're trying to say this small market, which is like about $1 trillion, is a threat to the financial system. But you know what that means, guys? That's code. That is, we're being disrupted. We need to keep this in check. That's what that is, right? That is, just look at what happened just last year. And as an example, FTX, did that cause the United States economy to collapse? No. What was the big worry for everybody just recently? The bank runs, the bank collapses, right? So this is why, you know, when you read these things, you got to make sure you read between the lines. It's code for saying, hey guys, wake up. We need to put Binance and all these folks in check because they're getting too large and they're taking the power away from us. So don't get me wrong. I believe, you know, comprehensive, level-headed, balanced regulations is important to stop scammers like your Sam Bankman-Frieds, but it's not that crypto inherently is some threat to the financial system and so forth. In many ways, it's complementary, right? And it's even better because it's on the blockchain. It's verifiable. Yes, I know that not every blockchain project is great, and so there are scammers, as there are scammers in every market, just like there are scammers in the banking industry, in the mortgage industry, in the real estate, right? Scammers exist everywhere. So here, let me give you some details. What kind of framework, if any, should exist for crypto assets? That's a question posted by Elizabeth McCall, a supervisory board member of the European Central Bank, in a blog post aimed at taking a critical eye to the crypto world as we know it. McCall believes that regulation within crypto could help to maintain financial stability, though she pointed out that markets in crypto assets, MICA, is expected to provide insight into the crypto industry and allow more oversight into the activities of crypto-based firms. So we're going to start seeing this, all around. We know here in the United States, we are facing some massive headwinds with Operation Choke Point. You have Elizabeth Warren launching a campaign, an anti-crypto campaign. You have the regulators like Gary Gensler being lobbied and protecting the incumbents. But remember, the bigger picture, crypto's here to stay. We're in the then they fight you phase. They will eventually get this right once the big players set up shop, like your NASDAQs, your BNY Mellon, your BlackRocks, and so forth. Now, this is very interesting news, guys, and very bullish in my opinion. Brazilian investment bank BTG Pactual unveils dollar-backed stablecoin. BTG Dole is the world's first dollar-backed stablecoin issued by a bank. BTG Pactual said. I don't know why I can't say that. The Sao Paulo, Brazil-based bank said it's enabling clients to dollarize part of their equity in a simple, efficient, and secure manner. The BTG DOL is available for purchase starting from 100 real or $20, or real, I should say, in the bank's crypto app Mint. Guys, in the bank's crypto app Mint. Let me say that one more time. The bank's crypto app. It's almost like heresy to say that, right? Like blasphemy or something. You remember years ago, you couldn't say a bank had a crypto app, but folks, it's coming. The JP Morgans, the Bank of Americas, they will have crypto apps, and you will be able to view your cryptocurrency holdings. They're waiting to sell you crypto. They don't want Binance and Coinbase to sell you crypto. They want to sell it to you. So it's happening globally. And it's still, when I read things like that, I'm like, wow, look how far we've come. And it says here, which rolled out in 2021 and which now supports 22 cryptocurrencies. Unlike cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ether, stablecoins are pegged to traditional. Okay, so they gave the whole spiel on what it is. So this is really great, guys. Really big news when you think about this. This is a bank, and Latin America's, it's one of Latin America's largest investment banks. So very, very bullish news. Now here, attorney John Deaton, who I interviewed recently, I uploaded the interview today. He weighed in on news that former Coinbase employee ready to settle insider trading case with the SEC. John Deaton, and we know with the Wahi case and so forth. So John Deaton said, go back to when this case was filed by the SEC. I tweeted out that the SEC would flip Wahi and get him to testify against Coinbase. He will admit the tokens are securities in a deal, and Gensler will use these self-serving admissions to justify going after Coinbase. Easy to see. So you see what a conniving, evil person Gary Gensler is. This is what we're dealing with here, folks. This is why I keep telling y'all, call your representatives, email them, tweet, make content. We got to fight. We got to expose the SEC. And this is why we need Ripple to win. We need Grayscale to win as well. We got to, the Grayscale and Ripple, even more so the Ripple lawsuit, will put big holes in Gary Gensler's plans and expose them, especially if those Hinman documents and emails get out, folks. This is why we got to put the pressure. This is why folks are filing FOIA requests. The user, I forgot the name of the person, but they actually filed a FOIA request to the SEC for any communications between JP Morgan and the SEC regarding Ripple and XRP. Oh boy, I would pay money to see that stuff, right? Those documents. And let's see, the SEC has been delaying and dancing around it. I think they got lots to hide, my friends. I'm not going to, go into any theories here because people are going to say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist or something. But we know, guys, where there's smoke, there's fire. We know JP Morgan was building JPM coin while Jamie Dimon was saying Bitcoin's a scam. They were working with the Ethereum Foundation and Consensus, right? Doing all these things, building Quorum, which is a fork of Ethereum. They are bullish on crypto. They want to build a solution. And I don't know what happened, with Ripple and JP Morgan and whatever, but it's not outlandish to say that JP Morgan could be, is one of the banks, the incumbent banks, which is having Gary Gensler and many of these government agencies to put the squeeze on crypto companies right now to slow them down because JP Morgan, these folks are getting disrupted, right? That's even Gary Gensler said that. If you go back and look at some of his videos from 2018 at MIT, he talked about the disruption in the commercial banks and how they would fight. And it's so funny to see that play out right now. I shouldn't say funny, but it's pretty surreal if you think about it. And now Gary's the pawn, the puppet that they're using. Now here, Paul Grewal, who I've interviewed of Coinbase, he said a few months ago, Coinbase backed a legal challenge to sanctions imposed by the U.S. government against Tornado Cash. Today, the plaintiffs filed a motion for summary judgment asking the court to reopen the TC or Tornado Cash for all. Their arguments are simple but powerful. I'm not going to go through everything here, but I'll read some of it. He says, an initial point, anytime we give privacy to anyone, there is a risk that privacy could be abused by anyone. But the Constitution and laws of our country recognize that we don't take away privacy from all just because of the unlawful acts of a few. This is well said. This is why we got to fight. This is why we got to do FOIA requests, and we got to take it to the courts because we see the SEC and the judge, Sarah Nepper, even called out the SEC. They're not trying to abide by the laws here. It's unbelievable, right? These government agencies who are set to enforce the laws are actually not abiding, on the laws themselves. So, they're going to try to say, oh, this is this. And we know they're fighting because they're getting disrupted, but they have to respect the Constitution, right? The law of the land. But we got to fight it out in court and let these judges, really take control and push back on these draconian regulators. So final item here, guys, Opensea, the NFT marketplace, launches platform geared toward pro NFT collectors. The marketplace said it wants to cater to its power users, those professionals who have extensive knowledge of the NFT landscape. So, folks, I've said it many times, NFTs are going to be a big part of the adoption of blockchains and crypto, whether people realize that they're using the blockchains or not. And look, the next 2 billion people or whatever it is, they're not going to care about, is it on Polygon Matic? Is it on XRP Ledger? They're just going to want to know, oh, I got this NFT from my favorite musician and my favorite actor or whatever, right? They're not really going to care. And that's okay. What we as early investors want is to see said blockchains being used and adopted by in real world applications, right? And whether it be artwork, experiences, and collectibles from concerts, movies, and whatever else it may be, we want to see that adoption, because the more building, the more adoption on these blockchains, Metcalfe's law, network effect, the more valuable that blockchain becomes, and of course, the more valuable its native token becomes. So this is why I'm bullish on NFTs. And in fact, I'm working on my NFT collection. And no, it's not just going to be here by my NFT, but rather it's going to have utility. And I can't wait to tell you guys about the utility. I will, of course, be sending out, I'll make a video, send out an email, all that stuff. I'll promote it on Twitter and so forth. So you guys know, hey, if I'm buying this NFT from Tony, what do I get? What's the purpose of this? It will have a purpose. It will have utility. And that's what I'm looking to do. So interesting move here by Opensea. And I think it's a smart move. And, if there are premium NFTs, that are associated with high profile people, government people, maybe a president, right? Just look at Trump. I'm not saying you should go buy Trump's NFT, but the point is look at Trump's NFT collection, right? And you may have, I don't know, a Biden NFT collection. I'm just saying. And look, there's people who support Biden, there's people who support Trump, and they're going to buy the NFTs. That's not for everybody. I personally wouldn't, but there are people who are going to do that. There are people who have their favorite musician or band and actor and actresses and favorite movies and whatever else. And they'll buy the NFTs for those things. So that's the future, folks. And we know like Starbucks, they're about to launch their NFT collection, and it's going to open up a lot of great experiences, and they have millions of users. And we've been talking about Amazon and their NFT platform. So anyway, I can go on and on, but I hope you guys understand what's happening here, right? It doesn't matter if you like NFTs or you don't, or you will use it or not. There's going to come a point where you will be using it, because it'll be your ticket to a concert, your airline ticket and all that. The technology would be there. And like I said, the next couple billion people won't care about what we're talking about here. They're just going to know, oh, I can do it this way. I can use it this way. It functions this way, as long as it works. But like I said, we as early investors, that's what we're looking for. That's opportunity. That's money for us. So anyway, guys, that's the news. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you all later.